Hey everybody, today we're making a Greek one-pan chicken recipe that we bake in the oven. And it's nice and healthy, it is easy and quick to make, and it has a great little marinade with a little Greek inspiration. I'm Rockin' Robin, and I'm going to show you how to make it right after my chef joke. Why did the chicken go to the gym? To work on his pecs. To start off our recipe, we're going to begin by making our marinade. So we're going to take some olive oil. I've got 2/3 of a cup of olive oil here. And to that, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. What the heck, we're going to use all of it. I'm going to add a bunch of garlic to this because it makes it taste so delicious. So I'm just going to peel these and then press each one through a garlic press. It just makes it so much quicker. So you give it a good squeeze, just like you would the like button if you're enjoying this video, and then you just scrape it off with your knife. After we get all our garlic in the bowl, then we're going to add some seasonings, which includes basil, oregano, and thyme. Now don't forget you can get the written recipe below the video in the description area, so check it out. For a little more acidity, we're going to add some Dijon mustard. A little bit of salt will enhance the flavors. And then you want to give it a good whisk to combine. I'm going to pour this sauce into a 1-cup measuring cup because I'm going to end up dividing it out, and it's just easier to measure it out when I can just pour it right out of a measuring cup. Next, I'm going to take my boneless, skinless chicken thighs from Costco, and we're going to just place these on a dish and we're going to pat them dry. We're going to place the chicken into the same bowl that we made the marinade in, and then I'm going to pour in 2/3 of a cup of that marinade to let this sit for about 30 minutes. Now you want to spoon this in instead of pouring it in so that you make sure you get that garlic in there as well, because it settles on the bottom. Okay, I've got about 1/3 of a cup left, and that's going to be for the vegetables. Take your tongs and turn the chicken pieces over so you make sure that each piece is coated in the marinade. Like I said, I'm going to let this marinate for about 30 minutes, in which time I'm going to be cutting up all the vegetables. I'm starting off with a couple of potatoes here, so I'm going to peel them, and then we're going to go ahead and cut those up into small pieces. I'm going to go ahead and cook these first because potatoes take a little bit longer than the rest of the vegetables. And we want to cut these small, that way they will cook up very quickly. We're going to cook everything on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. All right, we're preheating our oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to place those potatoes right on the baking sheet. Then I'm going to take that marinade, just a little bit, because I want to hang on to a good portion of it, and we're going to just drizzle the potatoes with it just enough to get them moistened. And of course, you want to massage it in. We'll spread them out flat onto the baking sheet, and we'll pop them in the oven. And we'll check them in about 8 minutes. They don't take very long to just soften a bit. While we're waiting, let's chop up the rest of our veggies. So first I'm going to chop up my red organic bell pepper. Did you know that red is the most ripe bell pepper and it is the sweetest? Just try and cut your bell peppers into bite-sized pieces. Then I'm going to place them in a bowl and we'll work on our zucchini. Now for the zucchini, you're going to want to cut the pieces a little bit bigger than we did the bell pepper, because it takes a lot less time to cook the zucchini and you don't want it to get mushy. So I'll cut it in half, and then I'll cut it in half again lengthwise. Then cut it into at least 1/2 inch thick slices, something like this. Now for our red onion, you're going to want to slice this about 1/4 inch thick, and then after you slice it all up, I like to go through it and cut the pieces just a little bit smaller, more bite size. Now we're ready to place everything on our baking sheet because these are just barely tender, and that's what we want. I'm going to toss the veggies right on top, and then you want to drizzle the rest of the marinade over the top. And don't forget to give it another massage because we want that sauce everywhere to flavor all the vegetables. And then spread them out so that they're covering the bottom of the pan evenly. Then all you do is lay the chicken right on top of the veggies and just spread them out evenly. Now since I have a little bit of marinade left over, or actually a fair amount, I'm going to take some of that and just put it on the chicken just to kind of give it a nice little topping. This is going to help keep the chicken nice and juicy and flavorful. I'm going to pop this back in the oven at 425 for another maybe 20 minutes, and we'll check it then. It must be time for chef joke number 2. How does a loaf of bread court his sweetheart? With lots of flowers. Now this is how things looked after 25 minutes, and you think we're done yet? No, we're not. We're going to add some more flavor. This is a Greek dish, so we're going to add some olives. I just got some black olives here, and we're just going to sprinkle them on the tray. And all we want to do here is to heat them up so that they kind of match the temperature of everything else. Now for the last thing that I think really makes the dish, and it's some feta cheese. So just sprinkle some on there and let her rip. Now place this back in the oven for another about 8 minutes, I would say. Now to add some nice freshness to this, we're going to take some fresh parsley and chop it up nice and fine and sprinkle it overall. And it really adds a nice little freshness to our dish. Now here's what we end up with, this delicious chicken bake that is just flavorful. I mean, you're going to love it. So many flavors going on here. It's very healthy. It's very delicious. And that's the important part. So let me know down in the comments who is going to give this recipe a try and what you think about it when you do. All right? Since it's fall, I thought you might want to try a little pumpkin latte to go with your meal. This recipe is simple to make and oh so delicious. Click the link on the screen and it'll take you right to the recipe. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, let me know by smashing the like button and leave me a comment. All right, we'll see you back here next week for another delicious and healthy recipe.